You could be in Season 1 or Season 2, going into Season of Strife, and you're probably wondering what are the best archer pairings you could be running right now. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over all the pairings from Season 1, moving into Season 2, and how you can run 3, 4, or more different types of pairings when it comes to archers. So let's dive into today's video. Hello everyone, yes, smash a like, comment and subscribe for more daily videos of me, MrSneakyy, the one and only. And you guys really enjoyed the infantry video style like I did this. I thought, why not just do the archer one, where I'm honestly a lot more comfortable speaking about archers on the fly with you guys. And we're going to do the exact same setup, right? We're going to talk about Season 1 heroes. We're going to use, as you can see, the gameplay here on the side, talk about those heroes when we need to, and just go from there. So if you enjoy this type of content, smash a like, comment and subscribe, and let's just get into it, right? So season one, you've got to remember, Season 1, we don't get access to either of any of these heroes. We don't get any Sindron Fragor or Magrat Zeta shenanigans, but we do get access to a bunch of cavalry, a bunch of archer heroes, right? We do have overall heroes with Hosk, as well as Indis and Fear, as well as the other archers, which are the 4 archer heroes that we know of, right? So in Season 1, I'm going to be honest with you all. In Season 1, the best archer march, no matter what, is going to be Neeko and Kanara. This just does the most single target damage any of the archers can do together, as you can imagine, right? They're both made for each other. And why they're made for each other is easy to understand. You've got Neeko here, that's always defense breaking with his skill 1, as well as your Kanara, that's doing the same thing when she's awakened. When she's awakened, she's going to be skill breaking as well, or defense breaking, shall I say, with her normal attacks, which is really good, as well as reducing the damage dealt on that target. And obviously, anytime you defense break in archers, especially with Neeko, he has a chance to launch another damage dealing effect. So it's really important to keep him defense broken with Neeko and Kanara. So you can see why this is already the #1 damage dealing pair in Season 1. However, what if you wanted to run more than one pairing, right? You have obviously other archers, you can see here. But what could you do? What would you be able to do to run different archer pairings to allow you to actually do something, right? And maybe have more than one. So just like before, what we're going to need to do is separate our heroes. So you can see here, we can all agree Neeko Kanara is the best pair. But if we're going to try and open up pairings, we do need to start going across into 1 and 2, right? And one combo which I always will suggest to a lot of players is Neeko, Gwanwyn, and Kanara and Craig. The reason why I really like these 2 pairings no matter what in Season 1 is because it allows you, the player, to actually have a really good PvP setup. You've got one match that does an insane amount of single target damage, as well as you got this PvP setup with Kanara and Craig that does an absurd, and I mean an absurd amount of damage, guys, because of the way Craig's AoE damage is affected, right? It does an absurd amount, nearly 3200 skill damage factor. It's crazy how much he does. And he's going to be buffing as well march speed, hero skill damage, all for the Kanara. So you can see why this is definitely 2 pairs in Season 1 you definitely can run. However, there's even more. There's more. I know, who would have thought? If you are a spender, and I mean this, guys, if you are a spender in Call of Dragons and you have the one and only Hosk, oh boy, what I would suggest straight away is running Hosk and Kanara, and then you've got Craig left here, but he's not left on his own, because you've got Craig and Fear, and you can even have a 5-1-1-1-1 Fear or something like that. It's good. You're fine. You're happy days, guys, because she's just going to shield and make your Craig deal even more skill damage factor. Obviously, if you put Fear primary, that buff will be applied before the bleed, so just remember that when it comes into it. But just remember, if you do switch him around, that effect still is there. You just have to wait for the full next cycle before Craig gets it. But this is what I would run. I would run in Season 1, Nico Guan with your Craig Fear and Hosk Kanara. If you're running that in Season 1, your very first season as an Archer player, I can guarantee you players will hate you, and you will be printing merits left, right, and center, because your archers are gonna be abusing all of the mages around you, and mages cannot hit this March setup. I'm telling you, you deal too much counter-attack damage back to them. So if you're able to do this, and you're going against obviously other players within a small group, or you're fighting on skirmishes, you'll notice how effective this is. You can see Indis has been left out, and the reason why I've left Indis out is because you're going to try and implement her next season, guys. You've heard me right. Because the season right now, honestly, when you get access to these heroes in G1, you know, she's not strong enough. She might be 5115, potentially, if you've been unlocking her sculptures through the Dragon Trials, but I don't think she's going to be strong enough as of now for you to push through. So let's go into the Season 2 commanders now, right? Because now when we move and reset our pairing lineup here, we get access to Syndron and Freygar. Syndron and Freygar we do get access to in Generation 2. They're going to be our big goats of the format, right? And what we're going to be doing is instantly running Syndron and Freygar. They are the most single target DPS build that you will find in the game, that just does raw glass cannon damage. They just do an absurd amount of damage. But the problem is with this pairing is they're really squishy, right? They are really, really squishy. So just remember that when it comes into it. Now, we have all of these other heroes. And again, if we're going to make Hosk a last choice for everyone else, you do get access to Indis this season. And the reason why I'm giving you Indis the access this season is because most players within the second season will get Indis to around 5155 or something like 5153. You know, any sort of, you know, area around there where we've got a 5135 minimal hero, I'm happy for you to start cooking. I'm going to be honest. Or even like a 533, you're going to start cooking. Because with that, you're going to notice if we bring up the gameplay side of things, our Indis actually has some of the cracked out abilities as we know. We get to have a insane 20% damage infirm trigger, which is going to help all of our archers deal an absurd amount of damage with their normal attacks, crit damage, you name it. She obviously is going to heal whoever's in the front line, which is nice. We're not going to get the heal, but it's okay because she's dealing 600 damage factor and she's reducing, even at 3 guys, 30% worth of counterattack damage, and she's granting you 14, nearly 15% HP. So you can see how good, even at 5133, the amount of stats this hero gives, you definitely want her on the battlefield. And that's kind of where it starts to come in Season 2. You need to figure out how we going to get our Indis on the battlefield. And there's numerous ways that we can do this. We could run something like Nico and Guanwin as a single target DPS. We could run then like our Kanara, right, with something like maybe our Indis. This could be a super support March, as you can imagine, with now our flying March still online. And it leaves Hosk open, so Hosk can then go into the pair 3 slot, and you can switch these two around at any point. And that's kind of cool, right? Because what this allows this March to do is become a super tanky, super supportive March. Your Kanara is already dealing a really good amount of damage. She reduces the damage she takes from that target by obviously 15% because she reduces all damage dealt, which is crazy. Now you're reducing your counterattack damage you take by 50% and increasing your HP, and then you're applying Infirm on top of all of that, guys. So you can definitely run it in this capacity where you got Kanara and Indis, and then if you don't obviously own Hosk, that's the way you're going to be running. If you have a Hosk, I would run Kanara with my Indis, and then what I would do with my Indis is actually swap Fear out for her. I'd run Craig with Indis. It sounds a bit silly, I know, but you've got technically here 2 AoE archers, right? We've got Craig that deals a ton of bleed damage. We've got our Indis dealing a nice amount of 600 damage factor in an AoE, And again, all of that damage is getting infirm. So if you put your Indis primary, for example, all of your damage from your Craig is going to start getting that bleed trigger, which is really nice to see. And then, obviously, if you swap it around this way, the later the bleed, so, you know, the extra extension of the bleed, so the 200 to 200 to 200, that will actually get the damage factor. So depending on where you place this, you can actually improve Craig's initial burst, or you can improve Craig's damage over time effect, which I think is a really cool little effect that you can do for here, right? So I would definitely, in Season 2, try to get this match set up like so. And as you can see, you're going to go into generational free heroes. And with the generational free heroes, it leaves it perfectly how it is. Because all you would do is put Magrat and Zadar. And as you can see now, we have a 5-match Legion setup, all archers, and it's kind of terrifying. I must admit, it is kind of terrifying. Because we have Syndron Freygar able to do an absurd amount of single target DPS and is a glass cannon. We have Nico and Guanwyn, which is a really good defense break and just melting down targets with the poison trigger and the damage dealt bonus that they have, which is really, really good. You have Hosk and Kanara, or Kanara and Hosk, depending on which one you prefer. I prefer Hosk and Kanara for the defense increase over the actual attack damage. I'd rather tank more damage and allow the counter to do the work. So Hosk and Kanara, really absolutely devastating combo. And then you've got this support match of Craig with Indis, making all of those free matches do an absurd amount of extra damage, as well as now getting Mag and Zay. And guys, do we really need to bring up Mag and Zay? Let's just bring them up. Let's finish up the video like this, because Mag and Zay is going to be your generational free heroes. And these are a must unlock. They're just a must unlock. I don't know about Zadar personally. I like Zadar. Obviously, you want to run both of them together like always. But Magrat is a must unlock. I'm telling you now. The fact that this hero deals so much damage and the variable healing, that is what makes her so good. The variable healing allows your archer unit to actually sustain longer and longer and longer. And the fact that it's sustaining longer and longer and longer means your DPS stays higher and higher. And that's why Magrats and Zadars generally outperform a Syndron and Freygar, because Syndron and Freygar doesn't have any sort of healing inbuilt into their kit. And because we don't have any sort of healing, as you can imagine, they're going to start losing troops, and they lose troops quite quickly, and they're going to lose damage. So you can see why this obviously match is the way it's set up compared to this match. But with that, let's go over the artifacts, right? Because we've got 5 archers. 5 archers to play as. What would we do? So one of the matches is definitely going to have Shadow Blades on. It depends on which one you want to put on. I'd put Shadow Blades probably on the Nico, not on the Nico, but on the Hosk and Kanara one. Why? Because this is just flat damage, right? And you kind of only care about flat damage on that Hosk and Kanara match. Because with your Nico, that does care about defense breaking, right? And does want to defense break as often as possible. I would actually put the Rattle Spear onto your Nico. This is going to allow you, whenever you launch and inflict a defense break, to actually ignore even more of their defense, which is really good. So you can see why this is really powerful on someone like Nico, right? So you definitely want that on the second hero. On your Syndron and Freygar, definitely you want Gold Crest. This is without a shadow of a doubt, right? This is made for you guys. This is just to do an absurd amount of damage and to lock down that one target. And then with your Indis and your Freygar, what I would be running is Heart of Kamisset, right? This is a perfect support archer, you know, artifact for a 5 Legion archer setup, because it's going to grant onslaught and physical attack buff to all of those units, as well as, you know, granting you a bunch of defense, so you're even tankier. So it's a really, really powerful one. If you don't like Heart of Kamisset, one I will still recommend is gonna be the Breath of Gigantes. I know this is a magic unit attack, guys. I know. But you still get the Legion attack, and the thing that you actually care about is the Afflict defense break, right? This is kind of crap for you guys, right? And if you don't want to use the Breath of Gigantus, but you still want a defense break, you could go for the option of Heart Piercer. This is going to allow you to, you know, defense break 65% of the time, which is pretty good. And this is all marksman attack stats. I don't mind you guys going for that. But if you don't want to go for something like this on a support march, you would go for Dagger of Betrayal. I'm not gonna lie, putting this on a support march like the Indis and Craig one is really good. It allows you to imagine debuff, remove buffs off enemies, allowing you to just get an advantage over trade. So I do like the Dagger of Betrayal. And then as the 5th and final artifact for obviously your Magra and Zadar, I would equip on your Gilded Crossbow, right? This is giving them even more march speed, which is really one thing they do care about, because they don't deal skill damage, guys. They only care about attacking the opponent. So the more march speed you can give them, the better it is, because it means they can stick to the target. As well as this allows you to bypass enemy HP. So it's a really, really good one for all of your archers, right? So you can see there, we've gone through all 5 artifacts. You can see you've got 5 artifacts you can use easily with archers. And when it comes to pets, I'm not going to go too in depth, but you know the pets to use. Snow Peak Rock, Night Peak, the Night Rock for the Syndron. And then for anyone else, use some Sand Lizards and Venomous Lizards, right? Get some AoE heals and some extra damage on the merit gain when it comes to attacking you. And that is pretty much, guys, archers. I'm going to be honest with you. That is archers all covered here. We've gone through everything you need to know with Season 1, Season 2, and technically Generation 3, which is Season 3 Archer Heroes, and how you would progress and look like this. And this is what I would personally recommend, a 5-march setup if you was going to run archers, right? And if you don't have all of these heroes, it's fine, right? If you wanted to run a 3-march setup, you can just pick 3 of these pairings and rock them together, right? So hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hope you guys have enjoyed these new videos that you've been asking for, which are like pairings. Which pairs would I recommend? And, you know, 3, 4, or 5 marches for a specific unit. Hopefully I've covered it for archers and done a good job. You guys enjoyed the infantry one, and maybe next time we'll do mages for you guys, or cavalry. I'll probably do cavalry because there is sadly more cavalry units than mage units. But with that, let me know what you guys think to today's video. And with that said, smash like, comment, and subscribe. And until the next one, stay safe, stay sneaky. Peace out.